Alrighty. So, welcome everybody back to uh session. I just typed it in. It was session 43/25. How is everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yes, is
My
good.
Daggerheart character learned Fireball today.
Oh, okay. Fun.
It does a D20 in that system for some fucking reason.
that could go so horribly wrong yet so
I'm
horribly
holding
right
out.
at the same time.
It's D20 plus 5, and I'm holding out that I roll 2 damage on my first casting.
Interesting. Okay. So ranging from 6 to 25 damage. I see. Okay.
Or just 1 to 3, because Daggerheart's weird.
Alright, so where did we leave off last session? Alrighty, so
We fought some demons, and that was, I think, literally it.
yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that combat to last as long as it did, but then again, I built the combat, so that's entirely my fault. But yeah, so last we left off, you all had been leaving the continent of Jotunheim, leaving the Forbidden East altogether, having followed this crusade that the Aesir had been on for about a week, until eventually you had to depart from the Aesir court to finally return to the western side of Cerdonia. Our last session was entirely a combat session, kind of showcasing a number of things including your newest crew member Balder, the new stat blocks for Ralph the Knife Broker and Daisy, and showing off the fancy new toy, the Vestige of the Nahuatl, that was given to Tequila. A number of other things had happened, but we are going to focus on, at the very end of this travel montage, we find you all just outside the elven continent of Ampharina. You have been traveling with your fleet of constructs for about a week now. It has been a week since you left the Aesir court. About a half a week since you had left the wall, which was our combat session, and now find yourselves finally arriving off the coast of Ampharina. With that said, we can get into tonight's session. Unfortunately, we are not able to have Devin or Lana tonight, but hopefully, I would hope to say hopefully we don't have anything too big happen in this session, but I know what's happening in this session, so. But we find everybody off the coast of Ampharina. Specifically, as you can see, your placement of where exactly which direction you are coming from. You find yourselves on the coastline of Fedamar. About 50 miles out, you can start seeing the coastline stretch in this stretch and curve into this massive peninsula. You see a city built on the very edge of this peninsula, overlooking the water, with docks built all alongside the coastline. It's a smaller city. Uh, a city not so recognizable to a majority of the group, as I don't believe we have been to Phenomar. The only people this would be recognizable to would be Myra and Petal. Myra, because you have been here, been to at least Farina, on an almost annual basis, and Petal, because no one forgets their home city.
It smells as awful as I remember.
Even from 50 miles out.
It sticks with, yeah.
You can. The city looks dull, muted in color, unlike the elven cities that the rest of you have seen before. The capital city of Thulicone, the coastal city of Kalrashar. This looks more rundown, muted in color, devoid of life compared to the other cities. But even still, it is still an elven city. And even in the rust and soot, there is still this reflective finish that shines the city in the sunlight. It is a work in progress, to say the least. But a lot of people do call it home. For a second, for a good minute, the city seems to take your main focus as you are making your way to this coastal city. And I believe last session we left off, and this would be still accurate, Citrine and also Zoe, as Zoe you weren't, or Citrine and also Church, you both feel this sinking feeling. Mentally, not so much emotionally, not so much spiritually, more just mentally. Something keeps you on edge. And it's not so much anything you see. It seems almost like a forced sense of doubt, sense of alertness that comes into your mind as you both take on the image of Phenomar. Is there anything the two of you would do with that, or would you continue?
So we just kind of feel this like just being in the presence of the city.
I'll say go ahead and make an insight check. Both of you can. I guess not.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll not. I won't ask for a skill check anymore. Jeez.
No, my bad. My bad.
You're okay. You're okay. Okay. Citrine, you kind of this unnatural sense of worry, sense of alertness. You're not really able to like pinpoint exactly why. Maybe it comes from your heritage. Maybe it comes from your past. Maybe it's something about this city Maybe that looks familiar, maybe that's... You're not entirely sure. Church. You take... I'm assuming there's some sort of, like... Unless otherwise stated, there's some sort of sense of, like, communication that the two of you both kind of feel this on edge.
I would say if we're like are we like in the proximity of each other like when this happens, or are we like in our rooms?
Uh, it's up to you where you would actually be as you guys are closing in on Fenimar. My general assumption was that all of you are kind of just on the main deck, taking in the sight of your destination coming along the horizon. But I think even still, without even wherever you seem to be, maybe there's like this small exchange of eye contact, maybe there's this small glance, but it's almost but there's kind of this sense that regardless of whether or not you're public about this, Citrine and Church, you both know you have this forced feeling that's been put upon yourselves. And Church, when you kind of dig into it, you're examining this emotion. It's unnatural, forced. Not so much forced, it's just a thing in the back of your mind. But you can kind of guess but you can kind of tell it's not so much about the city. But that's about it. You can filter out it's not about Fenimar that keeps you on edge, that keeps you in this sense of doubt. But to what you're actually concerned about, you're not sure.
Strange. I just got a really weird feeling. I would say to Citrine, if we're like within ear's reach at least.
If you want to, like,
feel
even
the
if you're
same
not,
thing,
I'll
yeah, it
you
almost
guys
feels
I'll
similar
actually
to
sorry.
like when we were approaching the volcanoes for the first time, and we had seen the images that we had seen before, and I would basically be asking Citrine like if he got the same like feeling as I did just now, because it was be so similar, I would assume, to the feeling that we both got, like when we saw the eyes and things like that.
Yeah. I think
I would
that would be accurate.
respond saying I know I felt something, but I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. I couldn't tell if it was something, if it was just if I was just getting something on my nerves, or if there was something wrong. But now that you mention it, it does kind of feel like back at the volcanoes. You're right. We should probably tell everyone else so that way they're ready in case something happens.
Let's go alert the rest of the others so that they can get a feel of what's going on here, because whenever this has happened, only bad things have ever followed before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be what I would do then with that, is go with Citrine to go and let the rest of the group know that this is going on.
I think with that, I'll ask, where do you think everyone else, where do you think you all would be as you are closing in on Fenimar?
I would be on top deck.
Okay. I imagine.
I think Myra is still in her room, just kind of determinedly working on her spellbook, so she doesn't have to focus on the fact that they're basically back.
I gotcha. You can see that your Myra, as you're like focusing in on your spell book, it takes you longer as you're not really sort of focusing on it. You've sort of drowned out this sort of hovering noise of this little Nahuatl drone that your grandfather has sent you, and it's been drowned out of your ears like white noise to the point where you can't even recognize that you've stopped hearing it. And it takes you a moment to really realize it, and you look around and you realize it's gone. It's no longer in your room.
Well, shit. And she'll just kind of look up and look at Aurora on her perch and just be like, well, I guess we're home. And keep working on the book.
Okay. Drew, where do you think you would be? Tequila, where do you think you would be?
Maybe just checking out Petal's gun collection.
Okay. So probably just like in this common room here, where Daisy kind of sleeps, and just see
Oh yeah,
all of these
sorry,
like
Daisy,
this-
not Petal.
Oh.
Petal does actually have a gun collection, but none of them work.
Daisy's actually like stolen a couple of those guns and made them actually functional.
It's terrifying.
Petal, where would you be?
What time of day is it?
It's like midday. I'd say roughly around like we're technically on like a 64-hour time clock, but like the equivalent of like 11 in the morning.
Damn. Yeah, probably just chilling on the upper deck.
Okay.
Not too much to do right now other than to her wounds a bit.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Petal, and make a perception check while you're on the main deck. And I'll ask in like a little bit more detail as to what exactly you think you would be doing. Having seen Fenimar in such a close distance, and just finding yourself like awake in the morning on the main deck.
Okay, so I'm spending a moxie to get proficiency on this.
Okay.
Not proficiency, advantage. Either way.
Advantage. Either way, interesting. Okay. All right. So what do you think Petal would be doing?
I could probably just cleaning herself up a bit should just kind of get her ass beaten.
This was about like half a week ago.
Oh, okay. So we've rested since then.
It's been
Okay,
been a long minute. I should clarify for the people that I still see like low half HP bars. It has been several days since your combat with the demons. You all have certainly gained the benefits of a long rest.
Okay, I thought that was this morning. Well, in that case, yeah, actually going back home sounds about as stressful for Petal as it is for Myra at this point. So she's probably also chilling downstairs, maybe trying to figure out how these guns actually work.
Okay. As you're kind of like looking at these different guns, you looking at the intricacies, and the not so much the intricacies of your old guns, but more the intricate design this of Daisy's work. Petal wouldn't really sort of recognize it, but but this sort of craftsmanship can be sort of related to like the scavenger. This sort of like bits and like pieces of metal. I think I compared it to like orcish technology in Warhammer, where it kind of just looks like a bunch of scrap metal pieced together and it somehow works. You can kind of see that your gun was almost like this little toy figurine, and she's actually put in pieces of metal and like art and like traced in some arcane runes to make it functional. And it's extremely interesting to you until you hear something, a whisper passing from ear to ear just behind, almost like someone is whispering directly behind you into your ear. Just this little that passes by from left to right, and you look to your right to the door that leads out, and you see a trickle of black smoke. This is not something you familiarize yourself with some black smoke and from the demons and from all the demons and your enemies that you've fought.
But this is the smoke from my lungs.
Yeah, it does actually look like almost like this trail of cigarette smoke that weaves, and you can see it kind of weave around the corner of this door, but then a little trail, the line kind of weaves down the stairs to the lower levels.
I do not trust like that. So I'm going to, I guess, signal with my watch for the Inheriar we have to be ready for something to go wrong before dipping down to the lower decks myself to look into it.
Do you instruct them to, because they're all up front, they're all up on the main deck, kind of
Okay.
basically they've become the main navigators of the ship. But if you want them to, they can lower themselves to some of the lower levels.
I feel like Cornelius can probably handle the navigation themselves from here. We're pretty close to shore. Well, I guess shore is not the right word when we're in an airship, but we're close enough to land. So we'll keep the two that are on the ballistas, we'll leave up there, and then we'll bring the other two at least to the lower, like the middle deck, to stay close to the staircase where they are right now.
Okay. Yeah, that they are right beside the staircase that goes up. And you can see one of them kind of like readies to follow you down the stairs. You both kind of make your way down the stairs, and you see this little trail of smoke kind of weave and kind of make its way in this sort of like shape around, hooking around to the rest of this sort of lower level until eventually it stops. kind of not so much, but kind of directly next to your wheel that you have here. And as you're kind of just looking at it like, that's it. This is all. You'll hear you're in Harryar. Immediately get into this attack position and turn around. And you see a figure leaned up against the wall of the staircase you've just came down. About probably here is where you'd be. You see a figure standing there, medium-sized humanoid figure, a son of the mask. Looks kind of shoulders, arms crossed, leaned up against the wall of the staircase. The entire face concealed by this mask that animates, shifts, blinks, eyes blink, face, its smile is a smirk. You know this is a son of the mask, but more specifically, a messenger, an emissary. One that speaks only for the mask. One that speaks. One whose voice is the mask, basically.
And what does he say?
Looks to you with a smile, he says, "It's nice to see you again, Petal. I noticed you flocked off Ampharina for quite a bit."
Got a good job killing scary shit. Scarier than you.
Do I
Don't
frighten
tell the
you,
boss I
Petal?
said that. No.
A hand kind of like placed on his chest, almost in like this sort of offense.
You don't frighten me so much as you vaguely unsettle me.
Come now, Petal. You should know me well enough to know that I do not mean to frighten, or I mean to unsettle. I was just wishing you. I just came to wish you a welcome home. What brings you back to Ampharina?
Business, I guess.
Business as usual, I see. The right kind of business, I hope.
So do I.
Oh,
It pays well.
a mysterious kind of business, I see.
I think so. You ever finish a job and get the feeling they haven't told you everything? Well, they didn't tell
I'm
us shit.
I'm the one that makes the jobs, darling. I know exactly
Okay.
what jobs I take all the time.
That's nice.
Well, in any case, I'd keep my eye on your quest givers, I should say. The quest givers sounds archaic, barbaric. Aravan is always such a shady individual. And Labellus is so stingy, mute.
He sucks.
Sucks, yeah, sucks is the word. His granddaughter might have a few other words to say, but
She also thinks he sucks.
and you've got some lovely cargo with you as well. I'm not going to steal from you, of course. I know well enough not to steal in Harryar.
I'm glad someone does.
Just keep an eye out. There's a lot of chaos going around in Ampharina nowadays.
Sounds exciting.
I'll keep in touch. Hope you do too. And the
Please not
figure
next
kind
time.
of this figure steps around the corner, kind of disappears around this corner, and is gone. The Harryar kind of lowers his guard a bit, looks to you, awaiting an order.
And I kind of just shrug and start heading back up.
It kind of just retains this attack position as it's just like watching you go. And then you just hear it. And then as you like walk up the stairs, you're gonna hear it kind of just correct itself and begin to follow you. But eventually, I'm assuming from what I've been told, Citrine and Church, you're kind of gonna gather everyone to the main deck from what I heard correctly.
Yeah, and spread that. Give them all the kind of the looming feeling of danger that we're kind of getting from entering this area.
Okay. It is on the main deck, Myra, that you are reacquainted with your lovely drone. The deep
Just-
inhale. The deep inhale.
Yeah, she's just not. I'm like going through my spells right now, and I think Myra's doing the same thing of like, okay, how many?
It's just kind of
What?
like bobbing and like looking off towards Fenimar constantly. It doesn't even seem to return to your side or anything. It's up front, pretty much like by Cornelius' side, just watching.
Oh boy, okay.
But yeah, does anyone have any sort of reaction to this unease that Citrine and Church seem to be feeling?
Well, I mean, can you be more specific?
So basically, what it feels kind of like that presence, basically, yeah, that we felt before is what that was watching us, like when we were on the Demon Island,
Oh,
is like back. It's like we feel it again. The same phenomena that we were feeling before, especially that time when we saw those visions with Vic. It's similar to that, but we just can't quite put our finger on what it is exactly that we're approaching that's making us feel this way. But we definitely know that we feel this way. So we're just letting you guys know to be on the lookout for anything suspicious, maybe.
Do I feel anything suspicious from all the robots on the ship?
And we don't have like any idea where we're like getting this from. We just know that it's just like spidey senses are tingling, but we don't know what it is that's setting it off at all.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Then yeah,
You just getting the vibe.
that's what we got. Yeah.
You know, I
Oh
think
right, I
that's
forgot
just
there's only
being
one
close to a
robot
bunch of
left on the
battles.
ship.
Sorry, Jake, what did you say?
Hmm.
I forgot there's only one robot left.
Well, whatever it is, we'll just kick its ass. So no worries, I guess.
Do I
And then
also get a vibe that it's from the robot that they also feel something?
The monodrome kind of looks to you as shrugs. Just looks to you as just no threat detected.
Mm. Okay, so it seems only us.
what does
That
does
feels
Balder
something.
have anything to? Does Balder feel anything, or does Balder sense any strange?
Balder kind of just looks to you and says, I'm not entirely sure. I don't feel any sort of unease, aside from the obvious feelings of detachment from home. This would be my first time. This is my first time away from the Forbidden East, so, whereas, whatever you call it, that's what you call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
East, west,
Well,
it kind of depends on where you are in relation
the
to.
worst way to live, from what I got.
well, the Forbidden East was never so much east to us as it was home. But nevertheless, I don't feel any sort of worry or unease, unless aside from feelings of homesickness would be the term. Concern over this new world, but no.
Well then, I guess we'll just have to make our way in and find out for ourselves what this is all about. And so I guess with that, Church will probably just go back to go into a little meditative trance, I guess, and just
Okay.
kind of hang out around the ship until we make our landing.
I
We can't really
I
put our finger on it.
for comedic timing, I think it's around the time where you say well, I guess we'll have to fight whatever we come. I guess we'll have to fight
Yeah, well,
whatever it is when we come
I guess
across
we'll
it.
just kick. I guess we'll just kick its ass whenever we find it. Fuck it, and then he's just gonna
Church,
hang
Petal,
out with Champ.
Drew, Myra. The four of you, as Church basically says that, feel this presence off the edge of the ship. Sense, maybe see it out of the corner of your eye. And you all find yourselves, your attentions drawn to two massive Nahuatl constructs, the shapes of eagles, following side by side as they follow behind an ancient copper dragon that that is making its way directly towards you from about 100 feet away.
Well, that's interesting.
Do any of us have any context for this?
So let me give you the visual for
The
this
copper
thing.
dragon was the dragon that was fighting Poseidon's forces, was it not?
No, that's just my buddy Dylan.
Or was there not a dragon
What?
that was on our side that was fighting Poseidon's forces before we left the
So
Forbidden
you had
East?
so there were a couple dragons that were part of the Aesir court that were distracting Poseidon's forces as you escaped. But those were like a black dragon, an iron dragon, a green dragon, and a silver dragon, I believe. But this is a copper dragon and not one that you have seen. Myra, go ahead and make a history check.
Sounds
Oh,
like
boy.
we're fucked.
So the token up top is the imagery for the Stormwing, which is the two constructs that are following behind. God damn!
33? What the fuck?
This fucking plus 14 is like some Pathfinder shit. And I can say that now because I'm actually in some Pathfinder campaigns now. But on a
Had a brain blast. That's
33,
crazy.
but on a 33, you've seen this copper dragon before. Not so much in his copper dragon form, but the last time you had this communication with your grandfather, if you recall, he kind of ripped this one guy into the conversation, asking for more Nahuatl reinforcements to be sent in your direction. It's that guy.
Oh boy. Okay.
This is
Do I
the
remember
govern-
that man's name? Because that's
This is
so
the
far up
governor.
in my notes.
Yeah, this is the governor of Ostarinian, named Halal. Hlal. And this guy is basically the governor of Ostarinian, which is the city that manufactures all of the Nahuatl. And now this guy is beelining in your direction in his copper dragon form, backed by two Stormwings.
I fill everybody in, not necessarily on my grandfather ripping a separate person into a dream spell, but at least on who this person is.
You probably know this person not only because he's an important figure in Ostarinian, but probably because I think I've basically the lore of your family is that your grandfather on your mother's side is the governor of Kal Rashar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost you've probably met Halal just from being the granddaughter of a governor.
Yeah,
almost like when you've met your family before.
Yeah. We have been at the same parties at some point.
Yeah. But you all watch as this massive and ancient-looking copper dragon flies in front of these two Stormwings. As it gets closer and closer to the spring wind, the Stormwings part and you watch as they begin to circle around not only the spring wind, but the fleet underneath of you, the multitude of ships, as they almost begin to survey the Nahuatl and the Harriar that you've brought. Meanwhile, the giant copper dragon, boom, slams into the side of the ship, grabbing on and looking at you all as it clings to the edge of the ship, and before you watch as its form shrinks, and you see instead this older gentleman. I'm trying to find the visual for this guy, but he's not in the folder I'm looking in. This older gentleman, white stark hair kind of kind of straightened and pointed backwards. This elegant sort of tailored tailcoat suit that seems to glimmer within this like copper scale mail design. A cane in his hand that he kind of leans on a little, with a smile on his face as he is at this point at towards the end of his transformation. He is directly in front of Myra, as he looks to you with a smile and like and wide open arms as he says, "Myra Ainsley, welcome back to Ampharina. I hope you do remember me, of course."
Of course, Governor. Thank you for coming out to greet us. Let
Of course,
me
of
introduce
course.
you to the rest of our
Yes,
group.
of course. For the moment,
just
I will.
kinda-
Oh, sure.
Just gonna do the rounds quickly, trying to get this man's intense
Of
attention off of me exclusively.
Of
And
course,
just
of
kind of
course.
like, this is Drew, this is Petal, this is Church, this is Tequila. Just trying to like,
Hello. He's kind of like going like. Have you ever seen like a celebrity go down the lines of like fans just going like shaking quickly, trying to shake everyone's hands? It's kind of like that where he's just like, "Hello, nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you." As he kind of like goes down the line trying to shake everyone's hands, whether or not they want to or not. As he looks to you, as he says, "Right. So sorry about the intrusion. I merely just wanted to redirect you all away from Venomon. We don't want to be having all of this Nahuatl nonsense here." And you watch as like he wears this sort of similar wrist guard device that Petal has, the one to control the Inheriar, and he kind of flicks it in the direction of Cornelius, who immediately tightens up and begins to turn the spring wind off in a different off away and to the right of Fenimar, as you begin to sail in a different direction. And you could see behind the fleet also begins to turn in that direction, and you all begin to go in along the coastline of Ampharina, as he says, "Right, so anyways, it is good to see you, Myra. I'm very confused as to how exactly you managed to get there, but I'm so glad you are not in harm's way anymore. As is your grandfather. We'll be going to Ostarinian for the time being. Your grandfather is unfortunately occupied in some rather foreign affairs at the moment, and but for now we will be making our way to Ostarinian, where I can deposit these Nahuatl elsewhere. But yes, trying to think about what else I needed to say. Your family's very worried about you. He like looks back to Myra. It's just like, your family's very concerned about you, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
It's not my fault they didn't read any of the notes I left before I left.
You left the notes?
I left multiple notes for
I know
I
one.
left notes
I know your
to
grandfather
all of my
got.
siblings.
I know your
My
grandfather,
father,
Counselor
my
Enareth,
mother.
got a note. I think, from what I've been told. I don't really get told much. I'm only a governor.
I left notes for everybody, telling them exactly why I left and where I was planning to go, including all of my siblings who cannot keep their mouths shut if you paid them to. So,
That sounded which I'm quickly scanning your notes.
I definitely left notes to my siblings
Yeah,
and
you
at
wrote
least
to
my dad and my
you wrote to your
grandfather.
siblings, but those siblings were on the Ainsley side, which he doesn't know, which he's not entirely familiar with. And I think you specified you didn't leave any notes for your father or Elisa.
don't know if I left one for. I'm like looking through my stuff. I definitely left
Lisa
one for my
Ainsley,
kids, or for
You
the
left
yeah
one
for my.
You left with the Ainsley kids, and your grandfather, but I think, but anyways, he says, well,
Yeah.
I'm not entirely. I have not had the time to delve into that shady, that area, that has nothing to do with me, and I rather stay out of it. It's just from what I understand, the On the Thill family is a little distressed. It's been a couple weeks, but I'm sure they will be happy to see you back home. But for now,
I'm
we
sure
don't
they'll-
have to really necessarily worry about that because we're not going to Kalrashar yet.
Why not?
Well, because we're going to Osterinian. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Governor. You like shakes your hand. Hi, nice to meet you. I am Governor Halal.
Where's that?
As soon as he's not looking at me, I'm gonna take a step back and cast Detect Thoughts to try and figure out what the fuck this man is hiding.
Why are we going to Osterinian?
We are going to Osterinian because that is the home. That is one, my city. I am the governor of Osterinian, and two, because the Nahuatl were forged there. I am taking the Nahuatl back to their resting place, basically. Resting place has a different terminology. The place where I put them when I'm not using them.
The toy box.
Yeah, sure. On Detect Thoughts, are you just going baseline thoughts, or are you trying to dig deep?
I'm just going baseline for now. If anything weird shows up, I'll dig deeper.
He seems very concerned, not so much about you, but about the company you have alongside you. He's kind of just looking around like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? He's like looking at Balder, he's looking at Daisy, he's looking at Tequila, Citrine, kind of all of the odd ones out. But he's mostly concerned about just like trying to keep you safe with how little knowledge he's actually been told about you all. And he's basically, but he also, you kind of get this thought that kind of passes by him as he says, I need to get these Nahuatl because they're gonna want that for the war. Shit. But that kind of like is barely on his mind and kind of passes him by. As he says, right, any other questions? I am happy to answer.
Are you like mechanical or spirit?
I am a dragon.
Damn.
Did you not see the giant dragon? That was me.
Wow.
Hey. Any other questions?
Do you bleed grey blood?
What is these weird questions that I am getting from you, small tin man? These are very peculiar questions. I'm getting very concerned.
I'm just very curious because I've never seen a grey dragon before.
I am a copper dragon. But I do not bleed gray blood.
Okay. Notes. Color of dragon does not equal to their blood. Sucks.
I am a copper dragon. I'm not gray. I'm like a. Kind of looks at his. Am I graying? Am I aging? He kind of just like feels his hair. Just like adjusts this like humanoid. He's like, am I? Is it that bad? Anyways, right.
Oh, if you are worried about graying, are you like over 100 years old then?
You could say, yes, I am technically over 100.
How do you be technically over 100?
I mean,
It's
I am
kind of
far
the-
older. I am far older than that. So technically, yes, I am over 100 years old.
Also, how old are you then?
2000.
That's pretty old.
Yes.
Alright, note down. If something happened that long ago, ask him. Easy peasy.
Say that out loud.
Yes.
He
Drew
kinda
notes are
looks to you.
literally just
He kind
his
of looks
head.
to you. He's like, no, I'm not so much of a historian, but I can certainly try my best. All right. Well, I will meet you all back in the city. I will be just informing the Coast Guard of your arrival. Until then, I will see you then. And he kind of begins to turn back into his copper dragon as he kind of like clambers off of the deck of the ship and kind of pushes off and flies ahead of you all.
As soon as he's off the ship, Myra just loses it laughing. Just cannot hold it together.
I think at this point, I would have been like still kind of like entranced, but then like open like one eye, like I wasn't like I was pretending not to be listening, and then like asked Myra like, "Who was that? Who the fuck was that guy?"
That is someone who I've had to interact with at least twice every summer since I was 3. I think
Baldur
that's when the
kinda-
back and forth started.
Baldur kind of just looks and is like, is this the man I will be interacting with?
No, you're probably going to end up interacting with my grandfather, who is worse. But different kind of worse.
I
Oh,
see.
I'll ask him how old he is and see how he squirms around that question.
You'd
Actually,
probably
how
just
old
end up
are
getting a
you?
lecture, unfortunately.
That guy seemed pretty weird, but I mean,
Deeply.
I guess everything around these parts is. So
Yeah, this place is
what-
weirder than the Forbidden East. It's Forbidden East, everything at least makes sense and it tries to kill me.
He kind of is just like, well, that's great to hear.
Yeah. I
I'm
kind
gonna
of
go
got to
back
agree
into-
with Drew.
I'm gonna go back into my quarters now. And then Baldur just disappears into the.
Well, I guess we've got nothing else to do but land the spring wind finally.
All right. So yeah, you all eventually make your way to Osterinian. So as you can see, Fenimar is right where you are at the moment, and Halal kind of redirects you to Osterinian. Myra, given that Myra and Petal mostly, it's kind of common knowledge that Osterinian is very much a dragonborn city. The continent of Ampharina is very much so an isolationist elven civilization. But there is a minority of dragonborn, which make up the majority of Ostarinian. Ostarinian is an entire mountain that has been hollowed out, and the city has been built on the inside, kind of along the base of the hollowed out volcano, and with the aid of graviturgy magic, is a city that has been built along the rooftops in this sort of upside down construction, but is still able to be traversed as if it is normal rotation. Basically, I don't know if that makes sense. But you all eventually make your way into the city through this sort of river channel that leads into the mountain. You can see that this it's a massive city you can see on the inside as this river kind of flows through the middle with and you can see up above the buildings that have been built pretty much upside down on the rooftops. What you don't see, though, are people.
Oh.
The city is barren. Where there used to be a bustle of dragonborn and the occasional elven folk, as Ostarinian made elves seem pretty much like the minority of this city. But now you see none of it. Nobody seems to be here. There are Nahuatl constructs that sort of survey and scan and patrol this city, a lot more populated than a normal day in Ostarinian. But there doesn't seem to be, frankly, anyone actually here. Until eventually you do see a single figure you recognize as Halal standing on the coastline as he watches you all dock your ships, and you watch as the Inheriar and the Nahuatl constructs from the other ships begin to march out and off into off towards almost like this center point of the base of the mountain. As Halal waits for you in his humanoid form on the docks as you exit, and he says, "Right, so, apologies for the not so warm welcome of the lack of people. Ostarinian has been evacuated. There has been a lot that has happened since Myra, you have last been here. And Petal, correct?
Yeah.
You are part of the city guard of Fenimar, correct?
I
Or
work with them. I'm not part of. Not important. I've heard things are messy.
I
But
see.
was
Well,
not given
a lot
details.
I see. Well, a lot of things are messy on our side as well, so I completely understand. But back to what I was saying, Ostarinian has unfortunately been evacuated. Its population has been distributed elsewhere, and the city has been severed from the teleportation links that have connected all of the cities.
Drew just starts walking up to that half dragon man and say, "Hey, why didn't you say hi to us?" As he
I
points
should
to
have.
the other part of the crew.
I said hi to all of you.
Yeah, but you didn't say it by name, so you're disrespecting me. See, Church, that's how it is. They don't like us. They not like us.
Off the spring wind with Champ, and take a big fresh breath of the non-demon infested air as we make our
I got you.
as we make our way towards land.
He
and
kind of
putting
also
our
takes
feet
note
on
of
the
you as he
ground.
says, and welcome back home, Mister. As he looks at the church.
Home, but I'm sure you do. As
You
I
kind
turn away in not disgust, but more so
sorry,
just.
your microphone got a little muffled there.
Oh, is my mic
in the middle
is
of
my
that.
mic lagging out?
No, it didn't muffle. It sounded like you kind of like dragged it into like on your shirt or something.
Oh, yes. I don't know what happened to my mic then. But no, I wouldn't call it home necessarily, but I'm sure you do. Mr. What was it again? I didn't quite catch your name the last time we met.
Governor Halal.
Governor.
Governor Hell?
Oh,
Halal.
hello. Governor.
Hello.
HLAL.
Hmm.
Hal,
Oh.
hello.
I'm sure you're very important to the people here, so I'll keep my my curiosities to myself, I
I would hope a
suppose.
governor is important to his people.
As would I. As would I.
What do you mean the city's been cut off from the
Well,
teleportation network?
it's a long. Like, here, follow me. We'll make our way to the forge. As he kind of like gestures for you all to follow him. As he begins to talk, as he kind of like kind of beckons you to walk side by side with him as you all make your way towards like the center point where all of the Nahuatl and the Harrigar seem to be marching. I'll ask just because I'm curious. Do you actually walk side by side with Halal as he kind of like gestures like, here, walk with me real quick?
I think she does, but she has her like book out and is like furiously taking notes on the situation essentially.
I see. He basically looks he doesn't try to keep eye contact with you. He kind of just like keeps his eyes forward as he kind of says, well, basically while you were gone, the Cerdonia court has been intermingling a little more in foreign affairs. The Karelin has been Karelin has been outstretching himself and aligning himself with other factions in Zov, and has now taken one of the historical cities of the former nation of Ilios. Former is a longer story. He has now set up this city as this sort of military outpost and has stationed Nahuatl all throughout this massive city, and in order to ensure the safety of Ampharina, the only city that has access to this new outpost is Ostarinian, and to ensure the safety of Ampharina, Ostarinian has been cut off from the rest of. Has basically been evacuated and cut off from the rest of Ampharina to ensure that our enemies don't have any access to the hive network of our teleportation daises.
Damn it, my Discord.
Everything good?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my Discord just completely.
It's okay. Discord cannot comprehend the lore. I just did you catch anything I just said?
Krell rebellion has started getting involved in foreign affairs and aligned himself with factions in Zov and has taken a city in the fallen kingdom of Ilios?
Ilios. Uh,
Ilos.
Iliad, but with an S instead of a D.
Alias.
Thank you.
The city of he has taken the city of he has taken over a city in a historical city in the former nation of Ilios, and has stationed it as a military outpost. To ensure the safety of Amperina, the only city that has access to this outpost is Ostarinian, and Ostarinian has been cut off from the rest of Amperina to ensure that our enemies don't have access to the teleportation network in case this military outpost gets attacked, and they manage to use our daises to teleport to Amperina.
Okay, does this city happen to be called Ithaca?
Ithaca, no. This one is called Giantomachy. Why do you ask? That's such an interesting thing to
Just
to
because
ask
I was
about.
on the other side of the world doesn't mean I had my head in the sand. We are up to date on several things that have been happening over here.
Ah, so you are aware of the Battle of Ithaca?
Mm-hmm.
Great, splendid. That's what I was referring to by the fall of Ilios, as there is nobody left in Ilios. The entire population is dead. Because of the Battle of Ithaca. I believe we checked, yes. I believe the only sort of populace is the Golden Court of Phrygian. That's all that's left in Ilios, I think. But that barely has anything to do with the Iliad or the Olympians. Anyways. But yes, the Battle of Ithaca is one of the sort of pivotal pushing moments that Corellin and the rest of the court took to begin their efforts to take this outpost. I believe that was part of the sort of deal that was made with the Elysians. But yes, that is a thing that happened, and that is why we are Ostarinian is evacuated.
All right then. And is it safe to assume that this is the unfortunate foreign affairs my grandfather is involved in right now?
Yes, actually, he has been pretty much 24/7 requested to stay in Giantomachy, which is the military outpost. With this small occasion of returning back to Thulacone for his own ordeals, as part of being part of the council. But it does not. I am pleased that you have returned, and I'm sure your family will have as well. But might I ask what brings you back?
This side of the world is not the only one dealing with the issue of the Chained Oblivion. Balder, and she'll reference, gotta just gesture, is a member of... Oh, god damn it, did my Discord crash again? Can you hear me?
We can still hear you, yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, my Discord is being a bastard. Balder is a member of the Aesir court who were working on trying to...
Oh! Yes, I've been
Uh,
informed of the Aesir court. It's nice to, he kind of reaches, kind of like weaves past everyone else, and because Boulder's kind of like kept himself at like a 10-foot distance from everyone else, so he kind of just like, nice to meet you again. And so Boulder kind of just like offers a finger, to shake his hand. Says, nice to meet you. Nice. It is good to see a member of the Aesir court. Cyrilla Xenocostus has talked all about about this new Aesir. I've never met one. I have not met an Aesir orc yet. Baldur just looks at you. He says, looks down. And he says, "It is a pleasure to be in the west." He says, "Right. That is correct. I'm sure the rest of the Aesir court, not the Aesir court, the Cerdonia court would love to meet you eventually. Once sort of certain affairs have settled, but perhaps not. Perhaps eventually we can send you all to Giant Tomaki to meet this Cerdonia court. But yes, is there a certain destination that you were looking for?"
Well, it was mostly that we needed to get out of there because demons killed the majority of, I think, almost the entirety of the Aesir army.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh, you thought the
Oh.
demon problems were bad over here? They're based over there, and there's
No,
a
I'm-
wall
no,
that has
I'm aware.
prevented any information.
I
From getting
was
out.
also aware that the Aesir have been defending for 300 years. I thought it was gonna take more than that. Okay.
It was very, very bad. I was there for that. So we left. The rest of the court, I believe, is rallying whatever forces and information that is remaining.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we are going to have to go to Giant Tamaki sooner
I
rather than later.
see. Well, that should be no issue that should be no issue whatsoever. The only thing I should probably verify is permission to allow all of you to accompany to go to Giant Tamaki, as it is a military outpost, and also there are.
You said my
there have
grandfather
been-
is stationed there permanently?
He kind of looks to you with
For all
like
intents and
with a
purposes.
worried smile, and he says, "Yes, and certain restrictions have been placed upon me, but more so you, because of that." Hey, we're at the World Forge. He looks down and he immediately turns his attention back to where he's back to in front of him, as you find yourselves in this opening, this center point of this mountain, at the very base of it. This sort of circular courtyard kind of opens up, and in the center is this massive hole in the ground, and you look down and see fire and smoke and billowing orange glow of fire. You can hear the massive ringing of hammers clinging and clanging underneath, and you could see that the Inheriar and the Nahuatl are all making their way down. You have found yourselves at the center point of Osterinian, the Forge of the Nahuatl. As he himself says, "Welcome to the World Forge of the Nahuatl. This is the last forge of the Nahuatl in Cerdonia, and the center point of the Nahuatl army within Emperina."
Wow.
So this is where babies come from.
Sure. We We have a small teleportation system. I kind of just like leads you all to this little small dais that you can see a bunch of the Nahuatl seem to be following into seem to be lining up to go into multiple of these small things around that kind of circle around this hole in the ground, and he walks into it and disappears in this magical flash, and appears down at the very base of the hole. The hole, which seems to be like 300 feet down. But he definitely follows his way in, expecting all of you to follow suit. But but unless anyone doesn't want to, they can. Then we'll continue.
Okay.
Why not?
Follow.
I'll let other people go in front of me, and I will just cast sending to my grandfather.
You're
Okay.
Worst
It's just
case.
like, essentially, it's just like,
worst case scenario, we kick its ass and I head down.
yeah, we're just said to my grandfather, let Halal off his chain, and let us come to you. We have very important news.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Okay. You don't seem to get any sort of response from that.
And I figured I wouldn't,
Yeah,
but I
you-
sent it anyway,
Fair.
and then I'll follow everyone else.
Yeah, I'll hop down.
All right. So you all kind of follow suit as you all find yourselves teleported down to the bottom of this tunnel, and you can see this hole is an entrance to this massive opening underground that leads on for what seems like miles of this massive forge. You can see all kinds of these constructs of Nahuatl design making its way down. I'm trying to look up something that's important for. You kind of see this massive forge of all these massive humanoid constructs, gargantuan in size, taller than the Thunderjaws, hammering away in these massive assembly lines of different constructs of every single make. Some that you have seen, some that you haven't. And at the very end, you can see this massive, multi-armed construct looking around and commanding these managing all of this cacophony of creation and assembly. She doesn't seem this figure, though a construct, though very archaic and old world looking, gives off this sort of feminine appearance as she kind of seems to be orchestrating this whole chaos, this controlled chaos within the forge, as the ambiance almost completely obscures all of the sound around you, even as Halal says, "Welcome to the forge, to the world forge. This here is," he's kind of yell over the different over the giant clanging of the forge. This is where all the magic happens. If you have a construct, it was probably made here, unless you have old world technology. In that case, it could have been anywhere, but most likely here.
You're a sham! Drew yells out because he was not made here.
I meant mostly the Nahuatl. I mean. He basically just looks. Halal basically kind of guides you all kind of following down this weaving of paths through this forge, as he basically says. So, there are a lot of different location. There are a lot of different paths. I have been so. I understand that you want to go to Giantomachy, and I completely understand that. But unfortunately, even though I have been, even though the rest of Cerdonia has been mandated to be excised from the rest of Amphorina, I have been requested to make a single exception, and he eventually leads you all to this one single teleportation dais. You could see that there are Thunderjaws, the massive T-Rex-like constructs that have joined you in certain efforts, that seem to just be like standing around each teleportation dais that you pass by. They're making sure that anything that goes in or out is immediately incinerated if it's not supposed to be there. But he basically, he kind of gestures to this one, teleportation dais.
But it's a T-Rex entrance?
It's a Nahuatl construct in the form of a T-Rex. It's one of the constructs that you have been, that has been
In that one.
a part of the little fleet that you've had. Let me
Damn.
get the visual for that. But he says, right. So I've been asked to make a single exception to this seclusion of Asterinian. This one is a teleportation dais to the city of Kalrashar.
Mhm.
It's a lovely city, a lovely coastal city off the eastern peninsula of Amphorina. It's a lovely gleaming city and home to delightful nobility of
Like my family. It's my family. Tom. My
Anvithil.
grandfather's
Yes,
the governor.
the
You
Anvithil
can just
family.
cut the. Yep.
Yes, and unlike your great grandfather, the rest of your line is anxious to meet you, see you.
Yep. Okay. Well, I should at least let my mother know I'm alive. She will turn to everyone else. She's like, I probably need to go confirm to my mother and my grandmother that I'm alive and well.
Oh, no worries. Drew just goes up to her and pats her on the back and secretly places a camera.
A camera? Okay.
I don't
Uh,
expect any of the rest of you to come, but if you don't, I have a feeling you might get stuck here. I also believe my grandfather still needs to pay you all.
Yes.
Yeah, I can make that his problem through my mother and my grandmother. If you would like to join me in that endeavor, I am sure they will both be happy to host you.
Oh.
Like in
Drew will
person?
then silently steal the camera back and just say, all right, we'll go with you.
Not in prison. I will. Even if my grandfather doesn't like it, I am sure I can talk my mother and my grandmother into hosting you at the governor's house.
Silently throwing the secret camera back.
I don't think. Do you have a camera?
Yeah? Aren't my drones that I use to cast touch healing spells and etc. just cameras?
They're specifically meant to be like. They're not meant to be like cameras. Like you're not able to see through them. No.
But I can touch through them, and I can use my
Yeah, you
eye
can
contact cast
You can
spells through
cast
them.
spells through them.
Yeah. It would
Unless
be
you have,
weird
like,
if I had no eye contact through them.
No, yeah, you. No, you don't. But I mean, Anyways, okay, so, Myra, you are stepping through the dais. I'm assuming everyone is following suit, or
Yeah, we should probably stick together. I feel like we are being lured. So, yeah.
why? I'm not luring you anywhere.
Yeah, that's what a lurer would say.
I promise. I have been given specific orders. I don't like disappointing the council or councilors. So
He's just terrified of my grandfather because my grandfather's an asshole.
not entirely
okay,
true,
Mom.
but okay.
You're an ancient copper dragon. You can eat that asshole.
He
I
can
should
also
have
turn
thought
me
that word
into a
before.
puppy.
My
You have
grandfather's a
legendary
very powerful
resistance.
counselor. It's
He's
What
got to
is a
try to turn you
legendary
into a
resistance?
puppy.
I don't know what that
He-
is.
He's got to try to turn you into a puppy at least 4 times. You've got this.
Point is, I work for the council. I'd prefer not to disappoint the council. I'd prefer to remain a governor. I promise I am not leading you into anything, I promise. I am simply I'm not leading you into anything dangerous, I'm leading you in the direction that I've been instructed to lead you.
Inside check.
Sure. You gotta Yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
Boom. Boom.
Okay, fuck. 29. Yeah, on a natural 20, yeah, he's being truthful. He's just trying to follow orders. It doesn't seem to be any sort of like trap or anything. He seems earnestly like, I'm just sending you in the direction that I have been instructed to send Myra, which is her family.
Alright. Guys, it might not seem like it, but he's telling the truth. The problem is he's just following
Might not
orders.
seem
So
like it.
orders may be a trap.
even if it's a trap, it would be a trap designed for me by my grandfather,
It's
so
not a
it will at
puppy.
least be very cushy. And I also don't think he could get away with that. I think he's planning on using me feeling guilty about the way that I left to keep me there. So it's more manipulation than physical entrapment.
Alright, Church, you're the best person here. So you can talk to the grandfather.
Okay. So unless anyone says otherwise, you will step into the dais. I'm going to assume, for purposes, that Daisy and Ralph are staying at the Springwind. Just so that they're, because I think accidentally, Halal would have taken control of Cornelius and the other Inheriar that were manning the Springwind, and taken them with him. But nevertheless, you all step into the dais, and you find yourselves, during your time in this forge, you've been hit with this, like, overwhelming wave of heat and pressure, from this massive forge. But as you just blink into this new setting, it's immediately contrasted with this cool breeze. The darkness of the forge is replaced with a blinding light of the sun. You are outside a courtyard in front of a massive mansion. The clanging and ambiance of the forge is replaced with a deafening silence. As you all stand about 30 feet away from the mansion. The mansion which Myra knows as a second home.
I will kind of, for just kind of convenience sake, say I will have popped Aurora into her little, like, pocket.
Mhm.
Bring her out to let her go have fun.
Okay. You see Aurora kind of appears on your shoulder and looks around at this area and immediately flutters off and flies throughout the air and kind of disappears off into the mansion.
She'll make her way back to the room at some point. All right, well, welcome to the governor's mansion. This is where I spent most of my summers. Let's go find my mom. And she just kind of starts walking forward.
Okay.
And heading towards wherever I think the most likely place that either my mom or my grandmother would be.
Okay. So let me give you a visual. I'm not going to worry about restricting view because you pretty much memorized this house to the point that restricting your vision wouldn't be necessary. So, the left sort of hemicircle is the front of the mansion. And you are about like 20 feet away from this entrance, and as you begin to continue to approach, there's this sort of like pathway, this trail that leads off onto a more public road, and in front of the mansion, there is this carriage that seems to be helmed by these two Nahuatl constructs that take on the appearance of these more horse-like individuals called striders. There seems to be Inheriar that seem to be taking this sort of guard around this carriage. Someone is paying your family a visit, and the doors are swung open. There doesn't seem to be anyone at the front entrance, though.
Doors swing open. Do I recognize the carriage?
The carriage is basic. Any sort of there's a bit of pristine to it, that kind of gets the sense that this is some sort of nobility. But these carriages, these horses are so common. It's interesting that they had to come by carriage, though. As Halal has said, the teleportation deises are still seemingly active in the rest of Ampharina. For them to have to use this carriage, they would not be able to teleport.
I'm just gonna call Aurora back and have her just go get a look inside that carriage.
Okay. Your Aurora, you see, has already made her way into the house, and as you can tell by her flying out of the double doors and making her way into the carriage, she looks in and it is empty.
So there is no one in the carriage.
No. The front double doors of this mansion are a little swung open and kind of stagnant, as if someone has made their way inside.
I'll step in kind of cautiously.
Okay. As you all step in, those with a higher passive perception, which I believe is the 4 that I had called out previously, would start to hear would enter this lovely foyer, carpeted, with this central fountain in the center, staircases that lead up into different directions. This whole maze of a giant building. But the people with a higher passive perception can begin to hear an echoed argument. A verbal argument. Not so much any sort of combat or anything, but it seems that there seems to be this sort of verbal argument that seems to be going on. And Myra, you faintly recognize the one voice that seems to just be the loudest. But you second guess yourself because you swear it's your father, Alexander.
Okay. I think everyone just sees her shoulders visibly tense as the thing that she was dreading was happening. Is happening.
Okay.
Because I had a feeling. So she's just going to fully regress to teenager and just start making her way to wherever the shouting is. I'm here, so you two can stop screaming at each other now.
Okay. Alright. So you weave your way through this corridor, the corridors, through the rooms. All of it is almost as if you didn't leave. You would have definitely left this house in the 2 weeks ago when you first left to the Forbidden East.
Yeah.
And it's barely like you ever left. But you do eventually begin to hear the voices here. And in this room, you find a few figures. Firstly, the person shouting is your father, Alexander Ainsley. the second another figure that he is actively shouting to, but kind of shouting to this group of individuals, is firstly your grandfather, Karen, from your Onveithil family. His wife is also in the room. Adna. And your mother is also in this room. Where's her token? There we go. Your mother, Saida. If I'm also mispronouncing all of these, forgive me.
No, I think all of those are right.
Karen, Adna, Saida.
I thought
and
I could be misremembering my stuff, but I thought Karen was my uncle.
Karen,
unless we changed that around for
your uncles are. Your uncle is Valian.
Yes. Okay, and so Karen
And
is
your
Labelus's-
grandfather. Is your grandfather? Labellus is your great grandfather.
okay. Yep.
I think I am realizing that I did ask that that Labellus be replaced by Karen, but if four generations is fine.
It's fine. It all makes sense.
It's fine. Valian is not here, but who is here? Given that this is the very end of the summer season, is your Aunt Nevara. All of these people completely unrecognizable to everyone except for Myra. And I will be putting name tags real quick, just so that everyone's not confused. But yes, so you see, you kind of walk into this room as Alexander seems fuming, and as you can tell, as you can sort of begin to guess, as you're walking in and starting to hear the conversation a bit more clearly, Alexander seems pissed because nobody else knew where you were. Or rather, he blames the right side of your family for you disappearing. And as you kind of step into the room, what exactly do you say again?
I'm back, so you two can stop screaming at each other.
The room falls into a almost comedic silence as as Alexander stops immediately what he's saying, and the other side of your family, known for their elvish lack of emotion, even they have very much this sort of gobsmacked expression on their face, seeing you for the first time in weeks, as they all just look in astonishment for a fleeting moment. There's just this deafening silence in the castle now, in this mansion.
Also, we have guests, so if we could, get them food and rooms before we continue the proud tradition of screaming at each other, I would appreciate that. I will walk up and give my mom a slightly awkward hug because she does look like she's the same age as me.
Oh,
Hi, Mama.
elvish charm.
Yep.
You walk up to Saida, and Saida gives you a hug, and it though it is this awkward kind of this awkward hug, you do feel this sort of tighter embrace that you haven't than normal, as she just looks like she looks absolutely confused, but still overjoyed that you are home, as she embraces you, as she says, Myra, what have you, what? And, Alexander kind of just looks, so everybody else kind of just looks so confused and just waiting, and just Navarra tries to go in for a hug as well. Karen kind of just like looks to Myra with very much this like stern confusion before looking to the rest of the group. He says, I guess everyone can just walk in. Sure.
Well, all of you were screaming at each other when we came in, and it's not exactly as if Aurora was quiet.
Sorry.
So.
I'm trying to comprehend how
age
they would
regression.
comprehend, because I also don't want to go into I don't want to act out like this rage shit, this rage that I feel like I find it comedic that that it's almost this like teenage audacity to be like, yeah, I'm home. Can we get? I brought friends.
Oh yeah, no, this is full age regression. She is 15 years old again.
So instead of me wanting to be like, to act out them being angry, they're just absolutely confused, like because they're definitely it definitely seems like you're acting like that you haven't left. We'll summarize it basically. How about that? You come in, everybody seems very initially surprised. Karen takes this moment and immediately, you are familiar with his like stern lack of emotions, and you can tell that by him immediately turning his focus to the guests, to the people that are to you and to your friends, as he immediately begins to address the rest of the group. Adna, Saida, and Nivara are definitely still at your side, still trying, like, embracing you with this adamant concern for your well-being. Definitely noticing that you haven't eaten as much as normal. You definitely look at least a little battle scarred. Alexander is very much so turning his immediate attention to your well-being as well. His anger towards towards the I'm gonna just cut it to Vathils just for my sanity. For the his anger towards the Vathils is immediately stifled by his concern for you, as he as he turns his immediate attention to making sure you are also all right. But Karen will begin to address the rest of the group. Treat you as guests in his home. Introducing, kind of giving the smallest of introductions to the Onvathils, and as well as to their current first guest, Alexander Ainsley. But yeah, is there any noteworthy points that you want to add, Michaela? Like anything you would specifically want to do, ask, focus on?
I would mention the fact that they were all given a contract to help me safely return. That needs to be paid. But I think she's also just kind of like coming back to herself and being like, "Ooh, I fucked up."
I see. Okay. I think Karen would like kind of just give an eye roll and then turn and like try begin to focus his attention on that. But during this sort of comforting moment that you have with your father, your mother, your aunt, you get sort of pieces of information that they were basically given, because from what I understand, so this might be wrong. The only person on the Onvathil family side you gave a note to was your grandfather, which I think in this instance would either be Karen or would be Labellus. So they kind of had somewhat of an understanding, but even still, we'll say for purposes, Labellus was the one you gave the note to.
It probably would have been him.
Yeah. Labellus would have given like the bare bones information that they needed to know to understand exactly what happened to you, where you are, and even still, you got this sort of message from Saida during your time in during like your first couple of nights in the Forbidden East. It took them a minute to actually be told exactly where you were. Alexander didn't get fucking any of that. It got to the point where you were meant to be taken home, and they were and Labellus was basically saying that was not something they can do right now. And he was not given access to the teleportation, so he had to sail his way over to Amphorina, take a carriage coach to Kalrashar to finally like confront the Onvathils about your whereabouts. And this is the day he's finding out you have been missing for the last 2 weeks. But he also informs that he's the only Ainsley that he has brought along, giving a slight jab, commenting that he doesn't want any more of his kids getting lost due to neglect, as he kind of just looks at Karen and Adna and Saida. But he doesn't. though he gives that sort of jab and maybe a couple more, he doesn't seem to be focusing his entire attention on his hatred toward his anger towards the Anveithils. He is still trying to make sure keep his attention on you. But yeah, say Saida basically got the bare Saida, Adna, and Karen basically got the bare bones information. Nevara didn't even know about it until like a week ago when she showed up for her usual arrival towards the end of the summer. But they were all extremely worried because of just the lack of information. Alexander does... I should clarify. Alexander wasn't given any sort of the information that from Libellus. He did see the notes from that you gave his twin sons. I believe you gave all three of the Ainsleys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he would have seen all three of those.
The 2 boys and the girl.
He would have seen all 3 of those, and that would have been the point in which he was like, all right, I'm coming over here. As he sailed over to Ampharina. But he kind of gives a note that that Elisa and their kids are all fine as well. It's just they're just not here with him. They're still in Kyla. But over to the rest of the group. Karen introduces himself. Karen Anveithil. And upon being told that you are fulfilling a bounty or a job, he kind of leads you to his sort of office within this mansion, and he kind of just like sits down as he kind of looks very stern and upset. Myra, I'm assuming is still in the room with the rest of her family as this happens. So the rest of the group.
Yeah, I don't
just
think
sits
she's
down.
going to be allowed to leave
No.
either of her parents for a while.
No. Karen kind of just sits down and he kind of like he's shooting unintentional daggers at the lot of you as he basically just looks. He says, "So you were sent to retrieve my granddaughter. Is this correct?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
And this was a quest by Libellus Enareth with a reward?
Yes.
I see. Pray tell, what is this reward amount?
I actually don't remember how much we agreed to.
It was like
At
300.
5 or 50,000 gold each.
Uh-huh. As much as I am sure Councillor Enareth cares deeply for his youth. I am suspicious to believe that that the reward amount was that high. If I remember
might be-
correctly, it was 500 per person.
Oh wow, we're cheapskates. Damn.
Wasn't it 5,500 per person?
Was it 50? Don't do this to me. Don't gaslight me into giving you a high.
Didn't we want to buy cool armors that costed way too much? That's why we even went on this mission in the first place.
I don't remember. I don't remember
I
any
just
of that.
remember
no.
it being exceptionally well paying.
Yeah.
He kind of just looks and he says, "Well, if none of you can give me a proper answer, we shall say 1,000 per." And this goes for. Is it just the 5 of you? Is it all 8 of you?
I believe it was just the 5 of us at the time.
It was just the 5 of us, yeah.
I see. Well, unless kind of like looks to looks to Hecate and Vic, but then also Balder, kind of just like, I see. Well, I will uphold for now the initial reward. 5,000. If that is the change, do let me know. But 5,000 gold it is. And it takes him a second to collect this gold. But you do eventually gain 1,000 gold per person. You can add that to your inventory. As he says. So, I'm assuming this is where you part ways with my granddaughter.
That was not the plan, no.
No.
Mostly her call.
I will have to discuss with my granddaughter certain following actions. But I am of no control over you all, so do as you wish. You are, from my understanding from my granddaughter's wishes, you are allowed stead for the night, if you so wish. We have rooms available to guests.
Hell yeah, nap time.
Yep,
Perfect.
thanks for having us. This is like the fanciest place I've ever seen.
Same.
I see. Oh, well. Enjoy yourselves, just I request you keep to your rooms. For purposes of privacy. And also I have no idea who you are. Now, I believe matters are to be discussed with my granddaughter, so I will be returning to that joyous meeting. And he stands up and kind of ushers you all out of his office. As you like pass back over to, as he kind of like walks you all back to the room you had been in. He kind of directs you all to the different like guest rooms, which are off on this right side here. All of these rooms are available to you guys how you wish. But yeah. Eventually, the questions and the overbearing concern dies down, and you are able to eventually make it back to your room, Myra. The room of which looks untouched. Not even so much that it was like that your room was like remade, like your bed was remade or anything like that. It looks like it looks as cluttered as it was left after the spell.
Yep. Alright, let's fix this.
But yeah, so you all are allowed to stay for the evening. Is there anything anyone would like to do during this time?
I was not joking. I said the pedal actually wants to take a nap. Doesn't even have to sleep, but good lord, it's been a fucking week on a ship, and now she's dealing with rich people.
Fair enough.
Also, the bed is comfy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyone else have anything specific they're doing?
I do think once Myra has space, she will individually go to each member of her family and be like, I am sorry. I shouldn't have left like that. I think she does also have a brief argument with both her grandfather and her father about, do you think that perhaps my decision to leave had something to do with your decision to marry me off? But isn't going to like press the issue.
I see. All right. But yeah, so you kind of have this one-on-one with with your family. Nevara seems the most lax.
That tracks.
She taught you how to fight, and you went off and fought. So she had almost no concern that you weren't gonna make it. Saida is a lot more calm. Is similarly calm, but still has this almost motherly concern. Still, that she is kind of holstering, as she kind of gives an understanding kind of appreciation for your return, though. Adna is very similar in that regard. Very just more concerned for your well-being, as you kind of continue to see like people in Haryar being brought to your room with like food on platters, which I think everybody would pretty much see. Instead of you all being invited to like a giant table of food, there is in Haryar that are brought to everyone's door with like a massive fucking food platter in each in Haryar's hands, that delivers food to each of you, almost as this like appreciation from Adna for not only what group 2 you have done, but a sort of Myra, you know that it's her concern over people's diets and food, and
Yeah.
making sure
the very classic grandmother.
Very much babying you, the very babying kind of habits that she's taken on.
Yep.
You have this sort of conversation with Karen and Alexander. Karen is very much so like understanding. You kind of get the sense that he has this similar sort of calm as Nevara. Karen had also taught you some of your like basic magic, so he kind of also and understands the kind of lengths you had gone to in your further teachings with Labellus. So he's kind of very much like, I kind of guess you were going to do something stupid like that. So, but he is still appreciative of your return and your safety. Alexander is very much a lot more concerned than everyone else for your safety. He's very much so calmed down since his initial outburst that you had walked in on, but he's still a little upset. He's understanding of why you of the pressure to leave. He does kind of give this sort of like implication that he wishes there was more communication in that regard. But that is a whole other thing of like, you kind of get the sense that he hadn't really been paying attention to a lot of the previous conversation that he is now actively asking you that there should have been more of.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you conclude your conversations with all of these people, and Alexander says he is sending word to the rest of the Ainsleys about your safe return.
All right. Let them know I have the letters. I promised them.
I will. If I forget. The only thing I saw. It is that moment when you realized, shit, there weren't really a lot of flowers. in the Forbidden East. Fuck.
I think I did write that in one of the letters to her. I was just like, it's very frozen and or volcanic here.
It's very dead, kind of a
So
little
here are
very...
some drawings, but there aren't many flowers, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I will go into I am 1000% certain there is some very fancy black gardens here.
Mm.
And she'll just grab some nice elvish
just grab
flowers to make up for it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So, a couple more things happen. One of them not as important as the other one, but we'll start with the lesser important one. Real quick, does anyone remember from Group 2, does anyone remember Araven Ilisir?
I
The
don't.
name sounds very familiar.
Well, this would have been the person. So if you remember correctly, before leaving Ampharina, you were given 2 different jobs. One of them was given by Labellus to ensure Myra's safety. The other one was given by Araven Ilisir to collect a demon. If you remember, this was the job that was originally meant... This was how you met Citrine. Citrine was supposed to be this demon that was supposed to be collected for Araven's research. But then Citrine was not enough of a demon to be this sort of research. So he offered the job again to you all. This sort of recollection comes flooding back to, let's say, Citrine, sure. Citrine, this sort of memory comes flooding back to you as you find yourself this room for the night. As you kind of close the door, you immediately hear someone behind you go, "Hello there. Welcome back to Amverina." And you turn around and you see this very familiar looking pale-skinned elvish man, dark tailored clothing and an umbrella and a sort of holstered kind of folded up umbrella in his hand that he's kind of just leaning on like a cane. This is, I believe he referred to himself as Montague when you had first encountered him. As he looks
That
at you, he
name
says,
sounds familiar.
"Yes, this is the second hand of Erevan. This is his assistant." As he looks at you, he says, "Welcome back to Ampharina. I don't suppose you happen to have that sample that we had discussed, this sort of meeting, this sort of job that Counselor Ilisir had given you?"
Sadly, that mission slipped our minds while we were in the Forbidden East. We had slightly bigger problems on our hands.
Kind of just looks, he's just with like a, "Ah, I see. No problem at all. I believe for the purposes, we are going to simply drop that job offer."
That's fair.
Anyways, just wanted to check in, say hi, and
Hi.
toodles. And he sort of like flourishes the umbrella and disappears.
I mean, to be fair to y'all, we had a demon, and then he kind of combusted,
It was
Yeah.
horrible.
melted. How do we want to describe
Killed
what happened?
himself.
That
I also just
Sort
forgot
of,
that
but
mission
also not.
existed entirely.
Yeah. I can see
Well, also
why.
to be fair, most of the demons we were interacting with, capture wasn't an option.
Yeah.
No. All right. The second. So you all have a map here of like the first level of this mansion here. I imagine there's a second level, which is where all of the like main family members have actual living quarters in, including Myra. And you probably have this like luxurious bedroom with this sort of awning, this sort of balcony that you have that's kind of looking out. And as the night continues on, eventually you find yourself kind of looking off this sort of balcony, taking in the sight of Kal Rashar, your semi-home city. As it's not super far away. It's like this mansion is technically a part of the sort of district of Kal Rashar. If a bit at a distance from the clutter of Kal Rashar, the clutter yet beauty of Kal Rashar. And as you take a moment to look on, behind you, you feel, you sense, you hear familiar magic of teleportation from in your as someone appears in your bedroom. And whether or not you turn or not, you kind of almost feel a very familiar, foreboding presence of Labellus Anareth.
Governor, how kind of you to finally deign to speak with me. I understand you've been very busy. And then she'll turn around.
I should also clarify, your grandfather, Karen, is the governor. Labellus is a counselor.
Yes. Counselor.
Yeah, counselor of the Cerdonia court. He looks to you and he says, and you similarly have been quite busy. How went your family?
Well, it was a bit hectic considering the fact that apparently none of the information I shared with you ever made its way back to my father, or my stepmother, or my siblings. Despite the fact that I believe I asked you to tell them I was safe. The first time we spoke after I left.
The way I was informed, you had given a letter to your siblings on Mr. Ainsley's side, and I figured that was enough information he needed. And the rest of your and the rest of my family, the rest of our family, on your mother's side, I gave them exactly what you asked. You were safe. You were away for a time. I should correct myself. You were not. I did not clarify that you were safe, because that would be a lie. But I clarified that you would be away for a time.
Yes, always holding things so close to the chest.
Would you prefer I tell them that you had gone to the Forbidden East, engulfed yourself in the chaos of demons and orcish war, and for them to be brash and lunge themselves into the Forbidden East as you had?
Given the fact that it seems no one could figure out, including myself, quite how the spell that I did got me there, would be very interesting to see how they got there. You could have at least told them you sent people to come find me. Seeing as your son seemed genuinely shocked that he had bills to pay.
I had told him about this convoy. I had just expected that the payment would be that I would meet with these individuals myself to pay them myself.
Yes, well. They've been paid, but you might still end up meeting them. We have a member of the Aesir court here with us. Seeing as the Aesir have fallen, I believe he would like to make his case known to yourself and the rest of the council.
Kind of takes a moment to stare, and he looks and he says, I will discuss with Corellin in regards to this Aesir court and this boulder that you have brought. Corellin is planning something I'm not all too aware of. I don't trust this plan of his, whatever it is. I understand it has more of us extending out and stretching thin our resources. But I will eventually, perhaps tomorrow, discuss with him your individual that you brought.
Well, if his plan is to spread ourselves thin, I hope you understand that this is not something I will be willfully stepping away from. I plan to make myself of use, and I believe that my companions will want to as well.
I know. You will be able to return to Australian, and Halal will be able to take you to where you need to.
Thank you. And for the love of the weave, please tell that man he is not going to lose his governorship. He is so tightly strung that I'm afraid he's going to snap.
I couldn't do that even if I wanted to.
Lovely.
Not keep his emotions intact. More so, I couldn't fire him if I wanted to.
It would still be helpful to tell him that. Again, I thought he was going to have a heart attack while trying to talk to me about sending me here.
Halal is under much stress. Normally he is most in charge of Ostarinian, his people. The Nahuatl are not so much his strong suit, but now that Ostarinian is evacuated and Cyrillus Anacostus is here in Giant Tamaki, he has had a lot more put onto his plate. And the workload has taken a toll on an aged mind.
Very well. Let us know when we will be given leave to come see you. I am sure all of my companions are as eager as I am to not be stuck in this house for weeks on end.
I believe if I am estimated tomorrow, will be an adequate time for you to come to Giant Tamaki. Unless you have other matters to attend to.
No, no, I think that should be more than enough.
Very well. In that case, I will see you off. I will see myself out.
Hmm.
He kind of turns around and teleports away.
Yep. Once he's out, she just kind of like rubs her face and then sends a message to each person in the party telling them that we are going to be leaving, or that we can leave for Giant Tamaki tomorrow.
All right. So, we're almost done. By the way, I just want to get to this last point. So, you all eventually conclude your. The night passes on. The rest of the evening uneventful. And in the morning, you all pack your, repack your things. Myra, if you, I'm assuming you pack more things now at your disposal.
I do fully raid. Like, just get into Labelus's office and take as much ink and paper as I can get my hands on.
Okay. I think Karen would probably have those materials, yes. Labellus actually doesn't live here.
Yeah, that's fair. I will go to, I'll essentially go to my grandfather and be like, I need ink and paper.
Okay.
Because I don't have any more spells to transcribe, but I'm almost entirely certain I will soon.
Karen kind of just is like, well, I can certainly supply you with, and Alexander is definitely trying to pitch in his own money to pay for certain things, but Karen's kind of just like, no, I have all of the things here. I don't need help, thank you. Just gets you all of the materials that you need. Is anyone else want to add anything to what they want to do before making their way to Austranian? Okay, cool. So eventually, you all make your way back to Austranian using the same dais as you came in from, and Halal is there to greet you all as he says, right, welcome back to the forge. I've been informed that I'm now allowed to actually take you to your to Giant Tamaki.
Yes, I had a conversation with the counselor.
Splendid. You all want to bring your Springwind with you, right?
Probably would be a good idea, yes?
Of course.
Right, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, but doable still. Okay. He's as he kind of like escorts you all through back through the forge, but he begins to lead you through the forge, and as he does, there is a point in which you are kind of sort of passing this sort of central point of the forge, and as you do, Libellus teleports into the center. And he looks to be in a... Elves have muted emotions. It's a very known thing. So to see someone like Libellus Anoreth even remotely angry speaks volumes. He seems stern and he seems frustrated. So naturally you can tell he seems furious about something. As he storms away from you all, seeming to mutter jargon under his breath. Does anyone want to ask about that, or do you all just continue to follow Halal?
I'll do an insight check.
Okay.
Because that seems like a problem.
You can do so with advantage, I think. Would be something.
Could I also do an insight check?
Yes, you would be at normal.
Oh, I did not roll that with advantage. Hold on.
23.
23. All right. Goddamn.
Still, yeah. I
Even on a
don't
third-
have great wisdom.
Even on a 13, the fact that he's angry about anything and visibly angry speaks volumes. Drew, that's kind of as much as I can really give as well, because he's visibly angry, and you can and for an elf as ancient as he is, and one that mutes his emotions so much, this is extremely concerning, because he seems furious about something.
Hey, Oldie, how old are you?
And the small mutterings under his breath kind of almost give some sort of implication that he's upset about something, Corellin specifically, about Corellin.
Time to rage bait to make him reveal information.
Time to rage
Church,
bait.
where are you when I need you? So, how old are you, Oldie?
He ignores you.
Looks up.
He fully ignores you.
Were you in the Forbidden East ever?
Gonna interject with the voice he actually cares about. Hilal kind of just looks and he's just oh dear. I'll go ask about that.
Hey, why are you going away with me? That's disrespectful. Hey, church.
I'm following
church.
him.
Hey.
I don't know what what you seem to have high standards of anyways. He kind of just begins to walk off towards Libellus.
Hey, Drew just grabs him by hand. So,
I'm gonna
what's your
send
full
an
name?
arcane eye after both of them. I'm sure they can both sense it, but
You kind of cast the arcane eye and it kind of follows and it kind of drifts beside Halal, and Halal kind of just side eyes it with concern. He's like, okay. Just but he continues and follows Libellus, and you hear Halal just go, Counselor Anoreth, is everything okay? Libellus kind of just stops, kind of seething and tensing up, waiting for Halal to catch up, and he just turns around and he says, "It has come to my attention that this plan," kind of gets cut off, looks to the eye, and then just looks back to Halal as he's just like, "This. It has come to my attention that this plan that Corellan has been planning involves Aravan Irasir, and is planning this whole debacle of unity with the rest of Cerdonia." And Halal just goes, "That's a good thing, right? What I mean, as in like, just like a unity of the like a United Nations or something?" And he said, Libellus says, "Yes, a United Nations, including members of the Date Three, the Hellen Empire, there were mind flayers in this massive plan of his. There were deceivers. There were people there were leaders of governments who have committed treasons, committed massacres, fought in mindless wars. This is an endeavor that we walked away from, and we are stepping back into this chaos. It's chaos." And Halal just looks. Is that like a? Why is it just for the? It just says it is meant to be a united front against the demons. Another Gilgamesh assembly, and we saw how that worked out. And Halal just goes, "Yes, but I mean, maybe if the council is doing it this time, maybe it'll go on better." And Libellus just goes, "It is not going to go better. It cannot work. This is too much of an ask. This is too ambitious of a goal. Too much is at stake again. We have risked so much, sacrificed so much. I cannot ask for this. I cannot stand alongside this." And Halal just looks and he just goes, I don't know, sir. I can't. I understand both sides. I just don't. I just see the good in. I just see a good thing in this united front. And Libellus says, "We have been working 1,800 years, Halal. You, me, Cirilla, we have been building this Nahuatl empire with the Chicamozarch to prepare exactly for this. It is our salvation. The rest of the world is so undeserving of this. And if they are so well deserving, they should be able to deal with it themselves. But we need to worry about our assets here. And if we stretch ourselves so thin, we risk everything that we have worked for the security of Ampharina."
Okay, small question out of character.
Sure.
Can only Myra hear this, or
Yes.
is he doing this in front of us?
He's doing it probably like 200 feet away. So only Myra can actually hear this. Which I will interject in this moment to ask Myra, are you doing anything with this?
I think she is like doing her best to essentially just transcribe the conversation.
Mhm.
Like, get down as many specifics as she can.
Okay, so basically everybody kind of so yeah. to answer your question,
Mm,
It's being written.
transcribing it also.
If you can read Elvish, you can read what's being said as she like writes it down in her book.
I, for some reason, know 8 languages as Drew, so yeah. So I know Elvish. Hooray!
okay. So you kind of have an understanding of what's going on. Is there any sort of interjection? Are you all kind of just waiting for Halal to return?
So I ask that. Well, I talk. Well, if they're not talking, then just. So their plan is to unite everyone through Mind Flayer, but the main guy is very angry that he wants to unite everyone in Cerdonia to Mind Flayer. Is what I
I
got.
don't necessarily know if. I think they're just working with Mind Flayers. I don't think it's uniting everyone through Mind Flayers.
Yeah, they're.
Don't Mind Flayers have a hive mind?
He's specifically saying that like part of Corellan's plan is uniting all of Cerdonia, and part of it includes apparently Mind Flayers. A section of his plan of his unity is bringing in like I guess either a faction or a group. I say I guess, but a group of Mind Flayers.
Can I wild shape into a bird and just fly over there also?
Yes, you can certainly do that.
Hmm.
So you are kind of beginning to hear this firsthand.
Damn. And I will just record this entire conversation that I hear through Koshorenum also.
Okay. She is. You could definitely tell she is taking notes, or she at least keeping this info. She is documenting this information as you are recording it.
I can record like a camera, right?
Yeah, you don't necessarily have a camera, but to her you are she is basically able to constantly scry on you. Is what it is. So she's able to constantly see through your perspective, and you can definitely tell she is taking an interest in this.
Hooray, politics. Okay, so
is anyone else doing anything? Zoe, I haven't heard from you. Are you still alive?
George, Zoe.
I think Zoe is asleep again, unfortunately. Livid, you still awake?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Aaron, you still with us?
I am fighting demons over here.
I got you. I understand. We're almost done. Alright. Myra, do you want to do anything with this information, or are you just waiting? Are you just recording it all down and waiting until Halal returns?
I'm writing all of it down and then just waiting for Halal to come back, but I think it's pretty clear that she is like visibly seething. Like she is as angry as her grandfather, and it is visible on her face.
I got you. Just for my knowledge, what part of this conversation do you think are you?
She's angry at him, at his lack of care for everyone else. that
gotcha.
Ampharina and the elves alone should be the only ones who are saved. She thinks he's a coward. She's always thought he was a coward to a certain extent, and this just feels like it's proving it to her.
Okay. Eventually, Halal kind of just like, well, I mean, I am planning on I'm planning on sending your great-granddaughter to, Kyla to see the Ainsleys. And Labellus kind of just like looks and he's just like, fine, do that. Kind of just walks away. And Halal kind of just like, yes, sir. And turns around and begins walking over to you all. You can tell he's certainly lying, given given how Labellus is currently feeling about current situations, but he returns. He says, "Right, so I'm sure you know how that went. Let's go to the Spring Wind. Where's your construct?"
And I just appear behind him. Boom.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Anyways, and you all make your way out to the forge. As you're all walking, Myra, he kind of gives like a comment to Myra. He's like, "I'll have you know, I am taking you to Giantomachy."
I understand, and I am grateful, even if my great-grandfather is not. I am not of his belief that elves are the only ones who matter, as is clear by the fact that I am half human. And I appreciate you sending us.
I don't mean to side. I don't mean to take any sort of sides in this argument. I should just point. There was a very. You know our history. You know why we are here in Ampharina. You know why Labellus is here in Ampharina. I was a part
Drew,
of this initial.
Drew interjects. Okay, sorry. And I ask, no, I don't know why the history. Can you explain?
I'm not talking to you! He kind of just points to... I'm not talking to you! I'm talking to Myra! You know why we are here in Ampharina? I was a part of that movement to Ampharina, and I don't entirely side with Labellus's isolationism. I just understand where he is coming from. Because as much as I work for him and fear him in a small sense, I understand why he is the way he is. There is a reason we are here in Ampharina. The elves
I know.
fled.
I just...
Cough, racism. Oh, cough.
The racism, yes, against us. We fled here for a reason, and I can understand why Labellus despises the concept of us reversing this escape. But I understand that was a long time ago, and things change. So I do not intend to fight him on this, but I do not intend to stifle you because of it. I will teleport you to Giantomachy. Where are my constructs? So he kind of just like flicks his wrists and you see some Inheriar come forward. These ones don't seem armed. These ones are New World Inheriar that are brought alongside you all. You see that he also brings along Cornelius, and he brings along the new Inheriar that you had originally as like the crew. Cornelius and the 5 Inheriar that you had originally on the Springwind. You all eventually make it to the Springwind, and you see
can I
the
ask hello?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. You know any mechanics around here? I'm getting really annoyed that Drew apparently doesn't have a camera.
We don't have any mechanic. You are Muspelheim, mate. Yes. We don't have any Muspelheim craftsmen here. No, especially not anymore. We didn't have any to begin with before the mass evacuation of the city. But I'm pretty sure the Trinovation is a part of this plan Corellin has. So
You got a camera on hand?
no. What's a camera?
Damn. On progress. I thought you were technologically advanced.
This is still a steam. Like Muspelheim is the closest thing to this world is basically the beginnings of steampunk, and Muspelheim is pretty much the center point of steampunk. But regardless, the Inheriar begin to man the ship again. Cornelius mans the helm, and Halal instructs Cornelius to begin to lift the ship out of the water. The Inheriar that he had brought, the extra Inheriar he had brought with him, you see begin to cast runes all over the ships, very much similar to what Zoremiel had done to the ship previously, as teleportation runes are cast all throughout the Springwind. As Halal just looks, he says, "All right, I'm going to stay here, because I'm going to stay here to await further orders from the council. From what I understand, all should be well. I'm going to teleport the Springwind just above the city. It's a very large city, and you should be. But I'm going to. The Giantomachy is a city built for giants. But specifically only a council of giants. But the rest of the city should be built very humanoid size. But nevertheless, this location will be to just above the main city, outside of the castle. So you should be able to easily make the rest of the way to the castle to meet with the rest of the Seldarin. What the fuck? He kind of just like looks down at his device. Something's wrong. Why are they on there are Nahuatl in Giantomachy already. Cirilla is there, and they're on high alert. Active combat.
Oh shit.
The city's under. What the fuck? And you just. He kind of pulls up a small projection, a visual that he looks at. He kind of just like looks, and he said, "What the fuck is that?" Okay, well, shit. No, hold on. I can't. I'm not sending you there. Not now. Not during that.
You are.
If they need help, we are the help.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Trust
Sure.
that I am my grandfather's daughter.
We are the best people to handle monsters around.
And I will also just
Yes,
cast
I'll
mage armor on myself real quick.
Okay, you're casting mage armor. He looks and he's just like, all right. Pop quiz. Anyone know what Atlas is? Just to give a quick briefing. Everyone familiar with the Olympians?
Unfortunately.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
familiar with
Probably.
Zeus?
Oh, the
Yeah,
head
yeah.
honcho.
This
Yep.
is gonna be fun.
Okay.
Oh, if Zeus
Um,
isn't there, then now I have also a preparation to do, and I cast Death Ward on 3 people.
Death Ward?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. You're casting this on 3 people?
Yep.
So 3 different. So 3 4th level spells?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just concerned about I'm just more concerned about the fact that you're burning those spells before this combat. But all right.
I mean, this come on, Death Ward, and I also have my spell refueling ring, so I get 1 4th level spell slot back.
Awesome. All right. He kind of looks and he just like begins to continue his preparations. The Inheriar begin to speed up their incantations, casting them all over the place, and then as you watch, you almost see them finish their completion as they kind of leap off of the sides of the ship and land on the either side of the dock. As he says, "All right, I'm going to stay here in case Cirilla requests more reinforcements. But if I know Cirilla, she's already cut the teleportation dais from that's in the castle. There's only one dais, and we've been given strict orders that under emergencies we cut that off immediately. So she's probably already done that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to send much more reinforcements quickly, at the very least.
Okay, so let's go, guys. Let's punch some Zeus in the face while we run away from Poseidon.
All right.
He's now on our territory now.
Halal kind of leaps off of the ship in this massive, uncanny jump, and lands on the rooftop of a nearby building. That's kind of almost at like eye level with the ship. As he says, "All right, I'm gonna give a countdown. Ready?" As he begins this countdown, Citrine and Church, if Zoe is still actually awake. This sinking feeling, doubt, concern, alertness, has been here this whole time, but sinks more internally. And then a voice in the back of your mind, the hive mind. A familiar voice you've only heard once, but it's only been a week. Of all the things to forget about, to neglect, this has got to be the dumbest. And as Halal says, 3, 2, he casts this spell, but just as all of you are teleported away, there is a split second as bursting through the walls of the massive mountain you were in, the walls facing the coastal side burst into holes as massive octopi-like tentacles lunge into the mountain, just as you all teleport away from the mountain, away from Osterinian, and find yourselves on the battlefield of Giantomachy. And that is where we're going to end this session for tonight.
God damn it, even Poseidon appeared. Oh,
Jesus.
So, yeah. Here's this. It's gonna take a second to load.
oh wow.
I think we
There's
can
a
beat it up.
lot.
Yeah, we got this.
We got it. We definitely
You-
have good AoE spells, right, guys?
You definitely.
Yeah, I definitely got AoE stuff.
This is definitely going to be the biggest battle each one of your groups, both groups has faced. But don't worry, you will not be alone.
Oh, this is a combined group stuff. Yo.
Next week, not in 2 weeks, next Friday,
Woo.
we will begin
Ooh.
the next session of Cerdonia, and we'll be doing so with every single member of this campaign.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
then some, but that's another thing. But yeah,
Oh, the
sitting
downtime
amongst
between rounds. would be-
scatterbrained
the
across
stuff.
this massive map of Giantomachy is also groups 3 and 4. That make up another 9 players.
Damn. I'll get to play with Brenham and Braxton and Spencer. Hooray.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else has met any of the other people. But yeah. But yeah, Citrine, Hive, I was but yes, the Hive Mind, small neglect, but yes, Malefesh had been the one kind of blocking you all from the Hive Mind, and then he died. So
I was wondering-
I meant to cast non-detection on y'all.
I've been waiting for that to come back to bite us.
and
I
it
forgot to
did.
cast Remove Curse on ya. Oof.
So yeah. While you all fight Atlas, Zeus, and a menagerie of other characters in this combat, Osterinian is being attacked by not Poseidon, but a different thing that I don't think we actually got into during the revised session. But it's Dagon. So yeah.
Oh. This
All right.
map is huge.
It is
God damn.
huge. So
It's gigantic.
yeah, it is quite massive. It's one of the bigger ones that I have made for this campampaign.
Good thing we're on a
s-
giant ship, so we can move around more.
Oh yeah. Do you guys want to see the ratio? Because I have your token to scale with this map. That I can just
genuinely
drag.
still waiting for it to load. It is taking forever.
So
wow.
there is your ship.
I move it. Moves.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
We can beat it up.
So
Wait, this castle
I love
is
the
that
confidence.
huge?
yes. Like he said, the castle of Giantomachy was built to the scale of giants. Because the council of Giantomachy was giants.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes
I,
sense.
I don't even understand who are enemies. Is everyone enemies in here?
Not really. No, you can see that there are some Nahuatl constructs. It seemed like Halal would have basically explained that the castle is being attacked. The castle is the military outpost he was talking about. So yeah, this is a massive combat. I understand it's super late, and we don't need to go into the explanation as to how this combat's gonna work, right now. I would totally understand that, but basically, it's going to be scenes, like a system of scenes, more so like we won't be going through every single turn through the initiative, but we'll be like basically focusing on smaller combats. I say smaller, but they're all still pretty fucking huge.
So like we would have like group 2 combat, group 5 combat, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Or-
the first 2 rounds of combat will be entirely focused on this one group of people. And then we will switch over to the next scene, which is the exact same like canonical time number of rounds, but focusing on a different part of the combat. And then another part, and then
Like,
another part.
18 players?
Yeah. If you see in the Discord, there is like you should be able to see like the general chat, where everyone has access. Every single person in that general chat is going to be in next session.
Damn.
Yeah.
I am also deathwarding me, Church, and Myra. The 3 I deathwarded.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, were you doing 3 more? But all right. So that is gonna be the end of the session for tonight. Thank you guys for coming out, and we will be back next Friday, the 1st of August.
Yeah, the other 2 players in our group will
Yeah.
be just, what the fuck happened?
Actually, yeah. More specifically, do you guys remember what group 2? Do you guys remember what we did with group 5, where you kind of just joined in the session?
Yes.
As soon as you were introduced, that's what we're going to be doing again.
Got it. Da 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 da.
Yeah,
So
basically.
so it would be first they fight and then we just join in from.
We'll have the introduction pretty much immediately, just so that we move on to the next scene. I just want to have that moment of like the new introduction again.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So with that said, that's gonna be the end of the session for tonight. Thank you guys for sticking around so late, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good night.
All right.
Not everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Kick Zo out of the call, Iris.
Yeah, I will.
He's a. Yeah.